Hello once again everyone to Rough Memory Reviews. This is the literal second one. And if it looks like it's similar to the last one, that's because I literally started this right after it. So, yeah. So much fun. I love doing it. I love it. But another film that I find worthy of talking about, and this one is probably a little more like kind of have to look for, because obviously I started with Kubrick, but this one is a film by the Japanese director Kenji Misoguchi. If you're not familiar with him, really if you explore Japanese cinema in any regard, his name will pop up pretty quickly, because he's usually one of the most highly renowned, along with Osu and Kurosawa. Usually he's really just behind those two, even though there's a lot of other ones that I'll get into later on. But this film is called The Crucified Lovers by Kenji Misoguchi, and it's a great film. It really is. In fact, I'm kind of starting with one of his probably lesser renowned films, just because I want to really do his excellent films justice later on when I talk about him, and probably even do revisits on him before I do, so I have a fresher memory. It's kind of the same with this one. I don't quite have as fresh of a memory of it, but I remember it fondly. I remembered really liking it a lot. Not quite as much as some of his other ones, which some are pretty... If you're familiar with him already, you'll probably know which ones they are. And I'll save them for later. But with Misoguchi, The Crucified Lovers is a great film. I mean, again, I'm not going to talk tech or plot because that's not really what I want to do. This is really more just for my thoughts. And it really is just a great film. I mean, Misoguchi just has a very, almost kind of understandable way of filmmaking that I've noticed when watching his films, and it's a lot of why I really love his films. There's like the sympathy and empathy of his films. It has a sort of like understanding to it, to its characters, or to whether it's the lead or any other character. There's an understanding to those characters that I love witnessing and experiencing with them. And plus, I think Misoguchi is just one of the most rhythmically excellent directors. Like, his films are... He's very much a long take, slow cinema kind of director. Even though I'd say he's a brisker pace than some other ones I love, he still very much has a slower, more methodical manner of doing things. And I adore it. I adore it. Obviously, I'm talking about him. But his films, especially The Crucified Lover, is just... Kind of probably not talking... I know I'm probably giving very general things on it, but I think it's better for you to kind of go in blind on it. You don't need me spoiling anything or anything like that. Plus, if you want a plot synopsis, you can literally Google it. It's not difficult to find. And I think it goes by another name too. I can't remember what it was, but the one I know it by is The Crucified Lovers. It's definitely a good... Really, with Misoguchi, you can kind of start off anywhere, because he's probably one of the more easily approachable directors. And this film is a great... Probably one of the good starting places for him, because it's not like one of his best films, but it's certainly a great one. I recommend it. I mean, I think on my Letterboxd I give it a 4 out of 5. I mean, those ratings are really just kind of a gut thing. They're not super, like, figured out. It's just kind of a gut thing that I do in the moment, just to kind of level out some of the films from what I really love and all that kind of stuff. It just more helps with that. But yeah, Crucified Lovers, highly recommend it. Great film. I really would just recommend Kenji Misoguchi overall, obviously, because I'm talking about him, but certainly a director that I think even should get more attention than he gets, because I think he actually gets pretty swept under the rug. And that's kind of how I feel about a lot of just... And I could probably elaborate on this in another video if you guys want, but I feel like Japanese cinema has a lot of filmmakers that get really swept under the rug, and Misoguchi tends to be one of them, sadly. He gets more credit than probably a lot of the other ones, but still not quite enough, I think, and hopefully I can kind of contribute to helping people explore him and his films, if starting with The Crucified Lover, or any other one that I talk about in the future. So, yeah, that's really all I got to say on it. It's the term review for these is really loose. I should probably really call them the thoughts. Rough memory. Well, that's why they're called rough memory reviews. It's just, yeah. It's probably more for the linguistics. But anyways, enough of my rambling. The video should end right about